Welcome to another broadcast of the Dr. Briar Lee Mitchell Show on the ArtistFirst Radio Network. Dr. Briar Lee Mitchell is the author of Big Ass Shark, Walking on Mars, Dark Lights, and several more. Her books and bio can be found at briarmitchell.com. Dr. Mitchell is also a nationally certified search and rescue volunteer, helping law enforcement find missing people with her world-famous and loyal canine partner, Thor. And folks, she can paint a picture. Here she is, your host, Dr. Briar Lee Mitchell.
Scott, I don't know how you do it. Every week he comes up with some new grandiose title for my dog, Thor. I think he's a world-famous, wonderful dog, and he's sound asleep on the couch behind me. Welcome to the show tonight. I'm so delighted that you could tune in tonight. I just love doing this program. Gives me a chance to meet some very fascinating authors and artists and activists. And my guest tonight is actually chatting with us from Kuwait, Abdullah Alebraheem. Did I pronounce it right? Did I get it?
Yes, Dr. Mitchell. Perfect.
You are such a kind person. Call me Briar, please. I mean, we're going to be very comfortable here, so just call me Briar. Now, the book that you have, perfect, author of 5 Essential Dimensions, and now you had originally written this in Arabic. What is the book basically about? Can you give us a little overview?
Yes, let me take you. This book is located in self-help book, which it is helping us to improve ourselves. Let me take you to the early beginning when we was kids. The decision that we are taking when we are kids, it wasn't immature. The more immature we become, the more decision immature that we have. So this is the whole idea of my book, how we have better decisions. So I believe that life is all about decision. Decision what makes us the master of the universe. And this is where we can improve ourselves. So my theory is to consider 5 dimensions of each decision that we are taking.
So you have these 5 different areas that you're looking at when somebody has to make a decision about something. And you're talking about here, which is, you cover some very interesting areas. There's financial, social, physical, internal, and spiritual. So do you look at each one? What I'm wondering, though, is when you wrote the book, do you look at how are you going to make a decision based on finances? How am I going to make a decision based on the social implication? Do you do every title, or do you just pick one, maybe 2 titles that are relevant to the decision you have to make?
Right. This is amazing question. Actually, we can consider 5 dimensions, but we cannot get this attention because we don't know the mechanism. So let me talk a little about my mechanism. The mechanism for take a small decision like going to the airport by taxi. If we have a friend, he's taking us to the airport. So this is it will be a good bargain from the financial dimension. If he offer us $50 while the normal taxi taking is $100. So we can see, most of us can see the financial dimension easily. But this friend, if he delayed for 10 or 20 minutes and we keep calling him and he say, I am on the way, I just need 5 minutes. So at this moment, we need to understand that the internal equilibrium, the internal dimension becomes so clear because we start thinking about flight, about delay, the queue in the airport. And If this friend also delayed more, we may take a decision and we say, let's take a taxi right now. This is too much. And this time, maybe this taxi, who is the best friend, we may lose his friendship forever. So we can get more a mature decision at the beginning. Before we take any decision, we say, does this decision consider our relationship? Does it consider our thoughts and our emotion when this person delayed? So we can improve our decision process by start considering each decision dimension. And it is not easy task, but it will become very easy when we try to understand the tools that I mentioned in my book.
What I was wondering also as I was looking through your book and these 5 dimensions that you use to help make these decisions, do you go through this process if it's like a really big decision you have to make, or can you apply the same principles, the same process to everyday decisions?
Okay. Every decision counts. Researchers found that we are on the dinner meal. We take around 200 decisions as an average. This 200 decision is the kind of decision that we are thinking about the food, the quantity, the portion, and the chewing, how long, the chewing size. So you can imagine how we are as a human. We are collective of decision. So we need to count every decision. Many decisions are taken by our autopilot. That machine, it is working in the background. It's taking most of our decision unconsciously. We need to take over our pilot. We need to take our decision consciously. We need to know that this decision will create ethical problem. This is a good opportunity to make amazing money, but how we will harm our social? What is the bill that our family will pay? Okay, so yes, so we need to, everyone have a lot of dreams. These dreams unconsciously take action, take the decision, or doing the autopilot. So we need to slow down this machine and understanding what is going on in our life. So as I see in my life, I see most of human beings are money machines. They are seeking money. They believe that money will make them happy, and this is where I talk about it in the early beginning in my book, the chapter 1. I question, do happiness exist? So
interesting.
Yes. So we know, all of us, we know that happy moments cannot be increased,
Yeah.
And it is a big illusion. Let's say that we are going to our favorite restaurant, and this favorite restaurant that we are loving is 1 hour away. Imagine that at the moment we decide we are going to this restaurant, we start feeling this illusion. We are happy. We have a 1 hour and a half traffic jam, but we are happy because we are going to our restaurant. So this is how, yes. So this is how our minds work, and they try to maximize our perception of happiness. And at the end, researchers found happiness dominates 85 to 90% as an average of all our decisions. Imagine, doctor, how many decisions can be linked directly to our perception of happiness. And what if this happiness doesn't exist? Okay.
I mean, that's fascinating that happiness does not exist. What is it we're feeling then? Is it a chemical reaction in our brain? Is it just a memory from childhood? What is it that we're sensing then? What is it we're feeling?
Okay. What we see and what we went through is the reality of happiness is temporary and vanish happiness. If we enjoy food, a special type of food, and we eat more of this food, we will get sick. So there is no way to increase this moment.
I see.
Yes. If we enjoy gathering with our beloved friends, this moment is, you can count how many it is. And you can imagine these days how many times telephone ring or the social media take them from us. So it is vanish. It is temporary. And my point, we cannot target this vanish and temporary. We cannot say happiness is a goal. The tranquility is an achievable goal. If we achieve tranquility, which it is in my book, it's collective of 5 dimensions with the minimum score in each dimension. So if we have tranquility, we will be more readiness to enjoy our happy moments. If we have our friends, we are ready to make a good laugh. If we have a bad moment, we are more ready to manage and ride over this bad moment. So this is the idea.
I understand, or at least I think one of the theories about this is that you can't really appreciate the good times in your life unless you have bad times to counter that. Is that kind of like what you're talking about? The balance?
Actually, good time and bad time cannot be targeted. You know, you cannot say, I will be ready to doing this. Let me give you some example from my personal life. I lost my father, 5 years ago, and it's this is life, doctor, and we believe. And I was in his hospital for around 40 days with late stage of cancer, and he knows that, and I know that, and my father was happy because he wants to meet his God, and it is very strange. I wasn't ready and every day I see my father and I say, I will be ready for that moment. But when that moment came, I found I am not ready at all, and the snowballs start after his death. I thought that after his death it will be the end of the tragedy, but this is not happening. So what I want to say that happy moments and sad moments will come. We cannot targeting them. We need to prepare ourselves with tranquility to deal with them.
Oh, very fascinating. I think that when I have time to myself, I will usually find a movie I like or a book I like to enjoy it. I'm sort of doing this because I want to get into a happy, or I guess more of a tranquil state of mind. So I do different things that I know in the past have made me happy. And is that still the same type of thing? I know I'm not really targeting it, but I'm trying to get back into repeating the same behaviors that allowed me to feel happiness. How would you describe that with your 5 dimensions?
Yes, actually, this is the zone of relax, the comfortable zone. And this is what we all doing. You have your own zone of relax, and I have my own. And this is, in the psychology term, it is a condition. If it exists, this condition, we consider ourselves as we are happy. Okay? But if we ask ourselves out of the box, is that happiness that we are, we believe this is the maximum, the optimum goals in our life? Having the meal, having the movie that we like. This is where I try to question this moment. You know, and as we know that our zone of relax can be shifted. The most successful people are creating new habits where it is within times they become doing another thing more beneficial and make them happy also.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Yes. So zone of relax is totally different idea, but at the end, it is important as a base to start of have the life meaning. You know, my next book, I'm answering one question. It is not published yet, but it is asking about what is the meaning of life. So the meaning of life, I shift the question to another question. Why we have a lot of meaning in our life. So we don't need to ask what is the meaning of life. Everyone has his own meaning. So what the meaning, the joy, the happy moment with our friends, the happy moment with gorgeous movie, or any moment that we like. So it is exists. We don't need to consider to ask about its existence.
Well, can you describe for us the process then? Now, you're talking about in your book, you were saying that these 5 dimensions are kind of like buildings, and each day you add to them a little bit with the same repeated efforts every day. Describe for us what the process would be. You've mentioned, going to a meal or something. Can you walk us through the actual process?
Yes, sure. Actually, before I process, I need to talk about one premise that's built on my book, built on it, and it is linked to my theory. I believe that we are a part of balanced world. So let me explain that by using the biggest telescope in the world. We will recognize this balance. If we use the most powerful microscope for tiny objects, and we will see the same balance. So my theory is built on the same idea. We are a part of this balanced world. So we don't need to seek balance. We are balanced naturally. So If we don't have this balance, we need to search for obstacles. And every dimension in our life has its own obstacle. So let me take you to one of the talk about the financial equilibrium. So how we get the equilibrium of the financial is by balancing our efforts. We don't need to balancing our money. We need to balancing our efforts in short and long run. Every decision that we take, we need to be sure that we are reserving our efforts to benefit in short term and benefiting at also the short term. So if we have this equation, we will have more balance financially. You may earn $1 million per year, and I may earn $5 per year. But if you start recognize that, for example, I am nobody earns $5, maybe $5,000. So I am a painter who painting walls, for example. So the equilibrium will be when I start do some saving and learn a new technique where I can, in the future, increase my rate. So this is where my idea of the book, of the financial equilibrium, is to invest our effort short term and long term. So if we don't have if the dimension of the financial is not in balance, we need to ask ourselves about the obstacles. I mentioned 5 obstacles in my book. For example, one of them is laziness. So yes, money, they don't have legs. Many people believe that the money will become by opportunity, by lottery, by a lot of illusion, a lot of imagination. But in reality, who wake up earlier, he will get more revenue. So let's get it in simple way. The second obstacle is setting unrealistic goals. Mm-hmm. Everyone is dreaming in making 1 million or 10 million. But how many of us he is achieving this goal? Sometimes these big goals working as obstacles because we don't achieve small goals, we will feel disappointing. So we need to set realistic goals. So this is the strength of my theory. So, and I will give you something very interesting. The fourth obstacle to the financial equilibrium is thinking too much about wealth. So maybe you will ask me how it is. It is very easy. If this is where I see it clearly. Our mind not designed to think 100% of money. If we did that, like many people, we will remove the attention of our family, about ethic, about internal. We will do many things that we cannot handle the emotion about them, like we are trying to work with high revenue work, but with someone really bad, who every time we return back to the home, we have these negative ideas. So you want to say something?
Oh, no. I'm just absolutely fascinated with this. I really enjoy what you're talking about, your theory, because it's starting to make more sense to me right now, and I hope that my listeners are also benefiting from that. We're going to take a short break right now, just a quick station identification. Please stay with us because we'll be right back.
Okay.
Believe it or not, some companies still test shampoos and household products on animals. But 600 companies don't. For a free list showing which is which, contact People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's PETA, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
Hi, this is Brian Bradley, two-time NHL All-Star and former captain of your Tampa Bay Lightning. Usually I'm not a big Panther fan, but there's one exception. I love the Panthers, Lions, Tigers, and other cats at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa. So do my kids, Brianne, Cody, and Trey. Our first tour was amazing. It was wonderful to see these magnificent creatures up close, peacefully living in natural settings. You could just tell that despite the difficult circumstances many came from, they were happy now. And this was not a tour where you just walked around looking at the animals. This was a guided tour where the guide told us about the history of the individual cats, why they ended up needing a sanctuary, and fascinating facts about the 15 different species who call the sanctuary home. You too can take a tour just like me and my family did. For tour times, visit bigcatrescue.org. I can tell you for sure, my family and I will be back. Come see why for yourself. The website again is bigcatrescue.org.
Hi, this is John Mayle, and you're listening to ArtistFirst Radio.
Thanks for joining us on the Dr. Briar Lee Mitchell Show on the ArtistFirst Radio Network. All past broadcasts are archived. You can pick them up at ArtistFirst.com. Now back to your host, Dr. Briar Lee Mitchell.
Thank you for your patience and for coming back. I'm really enjoying this show. My guest is chatting with us from Kuwait, Abdullah Alebraheem, and author of the book, The 5 Dimensions. The 5 essential dimensions, And we were chatting at the break a little bit about one of the ones that Abdullah thinks is a really good one for us to be able to understand his theories better, and that is the social equilibrium. And can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, Dr. Briar. Actually, social equilibrium is a dimension where we need to give it more attention. So researchers found that loneliness harms us more than smoking 15 cigarettes per day. So
wow.
Not being lonely, and you can smoke 10 cigarettes per day. I'm kidding. But this is what researchers found, and I mentioned this study in my book. So social dimension is where we surround ourselves. We need to get beloved ones, beloved people surrounding, where if the life is a garden, our beloved one is the flower, where it is make it more enjoyable. We need to consider, we need to target this dimension. It is not something that happens just because this is our neighbors, he is so good, he is our colleague in the work and he's looking great. No. My theory is to put the friendship under a test. The friendship standard is to have someone who is willing to sacrifice. So it is not a word. saying, I love you, I like you, I'm willing to do something good for you. No. I'm talking personally. This is very high standard, but just to give you a hint where we need to consider our friends, how to consider our friendship. I know some friends that if I call them and I say, I need $10,000, and if he doesn't have it, he will go to the bank and take a loan and give it to me. So this is the real friendship. It is very essential to have this kind of friendship. It is not easy, so we need to target. And we need to know for sure that these people who is surrounding us are really like trees. I like a word say that friendship is like a tree that we are watering it every day. So we need to know what we are watering. If we are watering thorn will become more stronger.
I don't think I'm following you. This is really interesting.
Yes, and if we are watering, so sometimes I cut my relationship with someone is so interesting because I need to, because not I don't like him. No, I like many, but because relationship really need to be watered every day or every week, and we need to take care. And there is high responsibility of real friendship. So we need to consider, and most obstacles to this social equilibrium, the biggest one is our emotion. And this is where we need to understand what is going on. I like a word for a philosopher. His name is David Hume. He says our logic is a slave for our emotion. So unfortunately, many action we are taking just because our emotions take the decision. So this friend, maybe he is in a bad mood. For today, we cannot question one action on someone he's doing great for 5 years. Even he is really bad, we need to give him a big margin. And this is where we need to know that our emotion jump or pop up and start taking action. Second obstacle to social equilibrium is ignoring feedback. Dr. Briar, you know that big companies or global companies spend millions on getting reviewers or feedback on their product.
Yes,
what
absolutely.
Do you like? Yes, and as you know, there is many people are willing to spend millions just to not listen for the feedback. Okay. So yes. So let's listen. Let's understand it. How others, I like many people who are coming to their colleagues, their friends, and ask them, what is the most annoying thing I'm doing with you? Let's listen. So many people, they don't know, actually. If you don't have the social skills, let's forget to get a better friend. Better friends need a better skill. Social skills is like sensors, car sensors. When it is give us alarm or alert when we get closer, and it is remind us before crashing.
Yeah.
So we need to have this type of skills that we get closer easily, make them laugh, make them happy, give them compliment, give them gift, and they will get closer. Then we can see them in a closer way. If they are not good, we have another skill to say we are sorry, we are committed, and this is where we need this skill to be more social. We have more flowers in our garden of life.
I think that's very interesting what you're talking about here, being able to terminate relationships that are essentially toxic. And what you had also said that researchers have a lot of information explaining that loneliness is a very damaging entity in our lives. And
Yes.
I've been reading some articles recently also that addiction is really just another way of bypassing the loneliness, that you want to bond with people. And we are social animals. So when you're talking about this, you were mentioning you would terminate relationships with toxic people. How then do you start to seek out people that are good for you?
Okay, we need at the beginning to know the standard rules. We shouldn't follow the location and the time that's gathering us. It is a good opportunity to use the time that we are spending with our neighbors, the time that we are spending with our colleague. But this is not the standard. Sometimes we meet good people, and we need to have the skills to jump and asking their friendship. But in these stages, when we get older, we cannot say for people, do you accept to be my friend? This is not relative anymore. But what we should do is giving them the signal of interesting. So we need to show them that we like what they are saying, and give them some appraisals. What I mean appraisal is saying good words. Sorry, my language is not that good. Hello?
No, you're doing just fine.
Okay.
You're doing great. I'm understanding all your theories. And I've been reading some of the, just so my listeners know this, your book is available on Amazon. And again, the title of it is 5 Essential Dimensions. And I've been looking at some of the reviews for your book, and a lot of them talk about what they got out of the book was that you really can't pursue happiness. That's very fleeting, and it's not anything that's going to really benefit you. But what you are talking about is pursuing peace and tranquility. Would that be a good way to describe the overall scope of the book?
Yes. Actually, this is the wisdom of the book. Mm-hmm. We need to get rid of the autopilot, where it is happiness. The concept of happiness is autopilot us. If we believe, let me show you how happiness concept dominating our action. Let's say that we believe that happiness exists at the weekend, okay? And we like fishing, we like this restaurant, and we will work hard all the week, all right, to reach this moment. We don't want any problem happen to the weekend. So what is going on in our background of our mind is this concept trying to remove the risk of losing this moment. And yes, and what I suggest in my my suggestion is let's try something else, totally different. Let's try to focus on our moment right now, which it is the tranquility. It is the peaceful of mind. We enjoy, if we have a colleague who is really have no social skills and keep saying bad words, negative feelings, this is the moment to enjoy our spiritual equilibrium, where we deal with him kindly and we believe that we are going closer to our God.
Do you actually say to the person that you are terminating their friendship, or do you just not talk to them anymore?
Okay. And terminating is a skill, Dr. Briar. We need to, it depends on how deep the relationship that we went through. You cannot say, we cannot terminate 10 years friendship by saying, I'm sorry, I am busy. We can't say it for someone with 3 months friendship all.
Got it.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. We cannot say we cannot say for someone he is, for example, if anyone who read my book will recognize that it is a good moment to revise most of our relationship. So if we have a friendship for maybe 10 or 15 years with people, as you say, they are toxic, and they don't love us from their heart. If they are, most of people, they are not willing to sacrifice for us. So if we put them under test and we are sure they are loving us, but they're loving just us at the good moment. So this is where we need to terminate this relationship. We need to put a schedule, and if we are gathering with them on a weekly basis, we need to make it monthly basis. If it is on monthly basis, we need to reduce it to every quarter or 3 months. So this is how we terminate relationship without harming ourselves. Because even if we say for them, I don't want to see you anymore or like that, it will have a really bad effect on our internal equilibrium. We will keep thinking about, is it right? We have a great moment with them. So we need to keep focusing in any decision on the 5 dimensions of any decision that we are taking.
I understand. I think that's a very appropriate way to do it, because then you're also not hurting somebody. And I think that's very important, because even if you don't get along with somebody, or you find that their approach to living is too difficult and becomes, as I was talking about, a toxic relationship, that doesn't mean you have to be cruel to somebody. You can just gradually terminate it. So I think that's a very good approach to being able to terminate the relationship like that. And with the book, that it's available on Amazon, where else can my readers find your book?
My book is available in Amazon. They can visit my author page. Also, there is my website, Alebraheembooks.com. Okay. They can find me on Twitter, Light Philosophy, one word. So that's it.
I'm looking at your website. Oh, okay. You're just getting it started now. It's a really interesting image of a boat on the water. And so that my listeners know what the site is, the spelling of your name is
No. I'm sorry.
No. There's a hyphen.
No. Actually, it's totally different. This is my real name, and my name, and it is like what we are pronouncing it. It is Alebraheem, Alebrahim. It is books.com. So it is like what appear in Amazon. My spelling actually was wrong through when I wasn't fluent in English, and until now I'm not fluent. So this has happened, you know.
You're doing just fine. You speak better English than most Americans I know. You're able to express your thoughts very clearly, and there's indication. I mean, just listening to you talking about these things, you're very passionate about it. Now, what prompted the writing of this book? Where did this come from? Why did you feel the need to write it?
Okay, I am a column writer in Kuwait, bestseller newspaper. It is named Al-Kabas. So my nature is I like to give advice, you know. Another nature is to keep searching for patterns. So when I start writing this column, and I try to gather many ideas in one topic as life wisdom, advices. So after I wrote the first version of this book, I say, no, this is a theory that I need to make it in connected, like one necklace. It is connected in the decision making, and we need to see this 5 dimension. You can see my logo on the book. It's showing hands, and this is where my idea came from. We need to see the 5 dimensions every time we are looking to our fingers.
I do. I see the cover is very nicely done. I love the image of the hand too, because not only is it a handprint, but it's multicolor. So there's a great deal of depth that you're communicating to readers just with the graphic that's there. Now, are you? You're currently promoting this book. Are you looking at doing a sequel in the future? Where are the next steps going for you?
Just to clarify that question, I'm really sorry, I didn't get it. Are you asking my upcoming work?
Yes. Where's the future coming, or where is it taking you? Are you considering another book?
Okay. Actually, I am 2 halves. One half is I'm working to feed my kids as a career, and I am accountant. So, books doesn't feed anybody. And the second is, so I'm struggling between my first half and my second half. My next work is writing a book about life meaning. I have a totally different theory about the meaning of life. And I hope that the Arabic one will be published before the end of this year. And I hope that the English one published in May. Actually, it takes more than 6 months because I am very picky person. This book was written, translated 4 times. Every time I write this, I get a translation. I revise it 2 to 5 times. So at the last stage, I give this book, which is translated with multi-translator, to novelists who make it a piece of art. So it is not just because I like to, it is my nature to, I am a perfection seeker, so I want my English book to be at the same. of my Arabic one, I don't want the listener to think that my book, poor language is the same poor language of the book. It is totally different. So my upcoming work will be a new book, hopefully.
And are you still going to be working on these pursuit of tranquility and peace in your life? Are you going to be expanding a little bit more information about these 5 dimensions, or are you going to be taking us in a different direction?
Actually, this is a really good question. The expanding this dimension is also essential. I really thinking of making train courses to give the reader, the listener, the reflection on their life. So it is not easy that, many people, they are talking about my book in a good manner, and they saying that it's full of wisdom. But they keep asking themselves questions about many things in their life. So I hope that I do some courses in the future. In addition, I will take my readers to a totally different area, because I like to talk about tough questions, and this is also my nature. So the question of what is the meaning of life is remain without answer. So I read most of what's written about meaning of life, and there is no answer. And when we listen to the scientists, they give us no answer, or they say there is no meaning of life. While we have a lot of meaning, we have 1,000 of meaning of our life, This enjoyment of listening for a great conversation is a meaning. This enjoyment of reading new books, the joy of new knowledge. So all this meaning, and there is no meaning of life. So I believe there is a strong meaning, but the problem is with building the argument of this to answer this question. Not the problem, because we cannot answer this question with single steps. The meaning of life is like this, So we need to build an argument, and all the answer will be within the context of the argument.
I love your theories, and I can really see why people are latching onto this book, because you are offering, really solid advice on how to seek peace and tranquility in your life. And I'm going to look forward to finishing reading your book and also looking for new projects coming from you. My guest tonight has been Abdullah Alebraheem. I hope I got that right. The author of 5 Essential Dimensions. And it has been such a delight to have you on the show tonight. Thank you so much for coming on the air with me.
Thank you for kind words, Dr. Briar. I am happy to be with you, and I wish you the best.
Oh, and likewise to you. And for my listeners, thank you for tuning in tonight. And as I say each week to you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, please be kind to each other, but especially be kind to the animals.